Lisa Sherman coming to you live with the Inside Out Institute, and I have an awesome guest today interviewing Noel Strain, who is a super cool guy, and I've been kind of following him on Facebook and watching his podcasts and his Facebook Lives, and he's had some incredible people on, and he's kind of doing the same thing that I'm kind of doing right now, me and my Inside Out Institute group. So I wanted to bring him on and let him share his story and his passion and why he does what he does and why he needs to share his message. And so I'm going to let him talk a little bit about himself and give you a little background on him and where he came from and kind of his story. So the stage is yours, sir.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lisa, for having me on, and hello, everybody out there. I always love to be the guest on any type of interview. I interview lots of people, lots of amazing people from all over the world on my podcast, Enlightened Conversations. And when Lisa asked me if I wanted to be the interviewee, I was like, of course. I always affirm I'm very easy to collaborate with, because it's fun to share things that my intention is to inspire and impact and uplift anybody that's tuning in here live or that might see this on the replay. And so, and we're all in this together. Like I genuinely, my core message is always like rooting for everybody in humanity, because, in truth, like we're all just different expressions of the same stuff. And, in that, where you do something out there that you're passionate about and you create something that that really lights you up, and maybe it's a new technology or a new food or write a new book or whatever it is, it just makes the entire planet more enjoyable for all of us to experience. And that's always my outlook, is I'm rooting for it. If I could ever share something that can help you with that process, just like others that have come before us have shared things that have helped all of us, then that's what I feel like is a part of the reason why I'm here on this planet. So you want me to share? What do you want me to share specifically? You want me to?
Well, you know what? You know what? I was reading, I posted your bio, and I think your bio is awesome. But you actually sought out a mentor back in the day because you went through a little bit of something that kind of brought you down, or just was an adversity that you went through, and you were seeking out something else. So just maybe give us a little background of what that was all about and
Absolutely.
how this came about.
Absolutely. Just a great example of how the challenges that we all experience in life, and we've all experienced them for sure. The greatest one up until in my early adulthood was from the time I was 2 years old and to the time I was 21. I just knew 100% certainty that I was going to be a professional baseball player. I was always really advanced, taking it really serious from the time I was 2. My family has pictures and all this stuff where I was that's the direction that I was going. And, played in high school, played in college, and then had an injury in college down in San Diego. And along with, I like to party, I learned as much as I like to play sports, which also made it challenging, because I learned I worked much harder at my sport when that's all I had to do when I was in high school and I was still living at home, giving me access to San Diego State parties and Tijuana, the border being right there. And, energy became a little bit split in multiple directions, but then tore my shoulder and was kind of the beginning of the end when I couldn't throw like I could. And that really led to a pretty, it was a dark time. I was always been a pretty happy person, but at the same time, because I didn't understand how to, really focus on my internal energy and allow that to reflect out. I didn't understand that I could be happy now regardless of what was going on, even though, it might be challenging during challenging times, which it is for all of us. So there was a lot of up and downs, a lot of, depressing times in my early 20s. And thank goodness I actually had a family friend who I never met. She knew our parents knew each other. Her mom knew my dad. And she reached out to me random phone call one day. I think I was probably about 25. And she was inviting me to a networking event, which ended up being for a network marketing company. And at that time, I was valet parking cars in Malibu. Really I hated going to work every day. I moved to LA to act because I was like, well, if I'm not going to be a pro athlete, then I better go be a movie star if I'm going to be as successful as I thought I was going to be in sports. And if you've ever tried to go to LA just because you thought you wanted to be an actor, there's a lot of other people that do that too. So if you don't understand really how to manifest. And if you're not super passionate about acting, it just might be a rough go. And so didn't stay in that industry long, and anybody could have really offered me anything as far as opportunity that was legal at that time, and I would have been open to take a look. And I'm thankful for that, because not everybody is open to new opportunities, and it makes it difficult to evolve in life if we think we know it all, or we think that this is the path that it has to be. And I wasn't that person. I was open to anything. And so I went to this networking event and ended up joining this network marketing company, which really was the catalyst to introduce me to personal growth, personal development, spirituality. Had a person in that company, which I call a mentor now, because you introduced to me a book that changed my life. Is definitely, I'm going to remember and appreciate you forever. But told me to read a book. It was The Science of Getting Rich, which was the first book I'd ever read on law of attraction, which was written in 1910 by Wallace Wattles. And it wasn't just like sunshine and unicorns and fairy tales and gummy bears and rainbows after that. However, I will credit that book to allowing me to know that there was more going on than what I knew at the time. I thought life was just like good luck and bad luck and coincidences, and I really didn't understand all that was at play. And so from that moment on, I was open to new awareness, to new consciousness coming into my path at any time, from anyone, at any moment. And there's been things, this was years ago. I mean, this is like 12 years ago. So there's been so many things that have come along my journey since then. And it's just a forever thing. For anybody out there that is on the path of growth and you're growing on purpose, you realize that this is a forever thing. And if you're listening to this conversation right now still, you're on that path because there's something that's already attracting you to listen. And that's why I do everything that I do. It's for those people that, whether you're just starting the path, like you just had the light bulb come on, realizing that there's more going on than you ever knew, or you've been on the path for years, we can always pick up new consciousness at any time from anyone at any moment if we're open to it. And if we're closed off to it, then life would just be a little bit more challenging for you until you're open.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Yeah. No, that's funny. Well, I mean, honestly, it's funny that you said network marketing, because I got involved in a network marketing company probably going back 4 years. And I did it basically because of personal growth and wanting to be better and, do something different, per se. But that little, it wasn't even little, it was a big network marketing company. And that completely changed my whole life. That the whole, like you said, open up the whole personal development thing. We started reading books, you start looking into yourself a little bit, things start changing, your whole mentality changes. And like you said, then sometimes it takes an adversity, something like what you went through, and you think, oh my gosh, there's got to be something more. I remember like sitting on my couch going, oh my gosh, this can't be all there is in life. Like, I'm not going to die like this, So like you said, it's almost like a passion. You get so passionate about wanting to share it with others, and like you do amazing. You're always on Facebook Lives. You have awesome guests sharing so many cool things from like everywhere. That's what we need. We need people doing that. We need everybody doing that to wake people up. And now with the coronavirus, I think people are just so ready to take that in. Like, they're looking for that. People are home. They're looking inward. They're looking for something, and like you sharing on a daily basis, us sharing what we share, and everybody else who shares. There's so many great people on Facebook that do that. I think it's awesome. I think it's just a great time in the history of humans to be doing this. Not that it wasn't prior, but now I think people are so much more open to it. It used to be like, oh my gosh, what'd she do? Find God? Or would she get like spiritual, and it does have a lot. There's a lot to do with being, finding God or finding a source or whatever you want to call it. But it's a truth. And the law of attraction is a true thing, right? I mean, don't you agree with me? Law of attraction?
Absolutely. Well, what you just said, Lisa, is super important. And I'm going to point something out, because you can tell how someone's viewing the world and viewing other people through, how they're speaking. And just the compliment that Lisa gave to me as far as the things that I'm sharing and the impact that I'm making, we can only, and I love to remind people, at first I appreciate the compliment, and then I love to remind people that we can only see in another what currently is vibrating, what our energy currently is. Like, if you're ever pointing out like someone and you're saying, calling them a jerk or all these things, like, 100 out of 100 people might agree with you. Like, that's not the point. But in those moments, if we were to measure your energy, which in 2020, like when we talk about energy, scientifically, this can be measured in the moment now. Where, like, literally, I've been to events where I've seen the energy from my brain, from my thoughts being measured, from my heart, and from the whole room. Like, they can measure the energy of 200 people in a room. We have the tools to do that.
Right.
So my point is, if we find ourselves criticizing someone, just know that your energy is joining them in that energy, whatever you're pointing out. But then also, if you're complimenting someone like Lisa just did with me, that's where she's resonating. And also, the lenses that she's seeing the world in right now is awesome when it comes to, like, with the coronavirus and people going within and being open to. She just described what is going on inside of her. So she's open and she's seeing going within and she's looking for things. And so there are a lot of people out there that are, and there's some that aren't, and everybody's at the stage that they're in. And can we still have compassion for those who may not be ready or may not be at that place? The best definition that I've ever heard for compassion is, can we maintain, our peace? Can we maintain our love? Can we maintain who we truly are, even if someone around us may not be experiencing life that way right now? Maybe they're frustrated, maybe they're worried, maybe they're upset, maybe they're feeling powerless and depressed. Can we still maintain a loving energy, a peaceful energy, so that we can still see them through those eyes, we can still speak to them through those eyes, and not condemn them or criticize them or judge them because maybe they're not experiencing life how they would like to be? Because we've all been there. I mean, we're humans, so we've all had experiences like this.
Yeah, that's great that you just said that, because it's true. I think that's something that I think I'm finally getting to that point where outside stimulus and outside people and energies don't. I have like a shield. We talk about this in our coaching program, like shield up, because sometimes you're gonna have negative energy coming at you, and if you can repel it, have your boundaries up, have your shield up, and still have empathy for the person, because like you said, everyone's going through a different thing. Everybody maybe is not ready for this right now. Everybody is going through a different, who knows what their situation is, or who knows? Do they not have a job? Do they need money? Do they, everybody's going through something different. But to have empathy and to be able, and honestly, when you put out that kind of really awesome energy, that's what you get back. You start to, things in your life start to shift, and you could probably totally say this for 100%, 150%, that what you give out is what comes back to you, because you're getting, people are attracting to you because they know that you're sharing that, you're giving that energy. You're not, like you said, 100 people could say this person's a big jerk, but it doesn't matter. You have empathy. Why are they like that? There's a reason. There's always a feeling behind an emotion. So when someone's acting a certain way towards you, never, learning not to internalize that is key, I think.
Absolutely.
To so many things.
Absolutely.
Right?
Also, just if we realize the power of our own personal energy, and that's really where all of our power is. Like, nobody can take your energy. We can give it to them, but nobody can take it. So
right.
What I mean by that is, if you enter a room and you go into that room in a peaceful place, or an excited place, happy place, however you want to label it. Like, when we label things, we're labeling energy that can be measured, like we just mentioned in 2020. So we call it happy, sad, depressed, angry. These are just labels that we use, human words. And it may be a little bit different, something meaning the way I say it and the way you say it, if we're trying to make a label of something. But we kind of understand, like, we go into a room and say we're at peace or we're happy or whatever it is, and maybe there's someone else in that room where they're frustrated or they're angry or they're upset. Like, when the energy is, say this is you at peace and this is them at angry and upset, here's what will happen. Either you're going to bring them to where they're going to be able to interact with you here, or that you could also say, I was in such a good mood until you came around, and you can go join them frustrated and blame them and join them there. Or you guys just won't want to interact with each other any more than, they won't want to interact with you any more than you want to interact with them. Like, when someone says, what are you so happy about? They don't want to vibe with you right now. They don't want to play with you right now. And so you just understanding.
I say that all the time. The whole vibe. Like, oh my gosh, you're so my vibe right now. Like, the vibe.
Just understanding that we have the power there. And if we choose to give our power away for any reason, that's a personal choice. And so I just like to decide what energy I want to present in this moment, because that makes life so simple. Like, we talked about, Lisa and I, before we came on, how Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, was impactful for us, at different phases of life. And when we realize that that's all that truly exists is this moment, then we don't have to think so much about, what was my energy yesterday? What am I going to be in a good mood tomorrow? Like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't exist. All that ever will exist is now. And when we get to tomorrow, it'll still be now. And so we get to, again, choose what version of ourselves do we want to bring to that moment of life. And when we realize that that's going to control what that moment, I look at life as a movie. So we're in the right now scene of our movie. And so we get to bring the version of ourselves to this right now scene, which will determine how that scene is for you. Like, don't expect to leave your house and, if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and we've all done it. I'm not saying you're wrong for it, but if this is what you do and you're yelling at your dog or yelling at your kids or yelling at your spouse or whatever, and then you go out into the world and like you're driving crazy through traffic, you're flipping people the bird out of the window. Like, I've never heard this story where someone has gone through a full day like that to where they came back at the end of the day and were like, today was an awesome day. Like, I had all these wonderful ideas and met all these cool people, like movie. So that's a choice. And not saying that there's anything wrong with drama scenes. People love drama movies. Like, it's all good. But if you want to have a continuous drama movie, then just present yourself in the moments of life in a way where you're angry, you're upset, you're frustrated, you're blaming people. If you continuously present that in this scene, then how's your movie going to look? Like, it's kind of silly to think it's going to look anything other than a match to that.
Yeah, that is so cool. I love that. I love that how you just put that, because that's so true. It's like, and with like, I like to quote Eckhart Tolle because I just think he's like a god. I mean, it's true. It's just so true. That's all you have. All you have is the present moment. When you realize that you cannot change your past and you cannot predict your future, and what you present is your story. You create your story. You create your life. You create your reality. So, like you said, if you're angry, that's your story for the day. You want to go to sleep angry? Like, you know what I mean? I think most people want to be happy, right? For the most part, you want to be happy. You want to give out good vibes. It's amazing when you start doing all this internal work, and I know you have, and you give out awesome vibes. We do the emotion code where you release all these trapped emotions in your head and in your body, where people look at you differently. Like, you see people looking at you. It's like almost like your energy ball goes out, and people are so receptive, and they're receptive to you. They talk to you when you're out. You're just, and you're like, whoa, what was that? At first it kind of takes you a little bit, it's a little weird. You're thinking, what the heck? But they're just attracted. They smile at you. You
get used to it.
Receptive. Yeah, it's just things come to you. And Todd says that all the time. In the program, he's like, just do. I'm telling you, do these things, and things will come to you that are meant for you. So it's just so freaking cool. I love it. I don't like to curse, but it is. It really, really, really works, and it's not an overnight thing. That's another thing you got to tell people need to know, is that this feeling and the way you are and the way I am and what we found and whatever is not an overnight thing. It's something that you need to work on a daily basis forever. Like you said, it's a lifetime thing. It's like healing the healer. You're healing, but you learn new things every day from people you meet, as I learn from, you or people that I meet. So it's an evolving thing, and it's just really cool to be able to spread that and have more people to be able to spread that. That Absolutely. Love, that vibe, that positivity. I just love it.
Absolutely.
You're super cool.
It's totally, you two. We're reflections of each other, mirrors for each other, and it's totally a practice. I love to remind people, it starts with an awareness, and this is why I do what I do, is because without the awareness that anything that we're talking about exists, then we really don't have a choice in the matter. So I like to help people have the awareness to where now you have a choice, and you never hear me say out of my mouth, you should or shouldn't choose anything. You choose whatever you want, just keeping in mind that law of physics says that with every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And so if you're going out there and choosing to live life in a certain way, let's not be surprised when things return to us in that way. And so I just want to help people have the power of choice, and then you go out there and choose what you want. And then if it matters to you what version of yourself you're bringing to this moment of life and this moment, then you will practice it, and you'll start to notice yourself when before maybe you might allow yourself to be critical or gossiping, for a full day. Maybe you have a gossip circle with people, and that's just been a normal part of your life. And you say, wait a minute, this doesn't fit in my new practice of wanting to be at peace, wanting to be accepting, wanting to be loving. This doesn't fit. So you actually start to make changes in your life right there. And then as you practice that, you'll start to notice other people coming into your life. Not that there's anything wrong with the gossip circle. You can participate in it if you want to, but if your energy is not so good while you're doing it, then I'm sure that there's some reflections of things that are showing up in your life as a result of that energy that you're feeling, especially if it doesn't matter to you, and maybe you have a full day where you're just talking crap, all day long to anybody that comes into your experience. So, and I've been there. I used to be the alpha male sports athlete. We talk so much trash to each other, and it just became part of our lifestyle. But that doesn't serve us so well. We're in the adult world, and every little thing, like whether it's something on TV or the way someone's driving or the way someone's behaving at work or whatever it is, you're just constantly
Right.
in a condemning energy where you're always talking trash. Like that doesn't serve us very well, like in the real world. I mean, even as kids, it probably doesn't serve us well. But I mean, it
Right.
just is what it is.
Well, we
So
didn't know any better.
yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
don't know until you know. This is what the awareness piece, and then once you know, power of choice is yours.
And it's really funny that you brought up that topic because I have friends, and I don't mention not mentioning names, but I've had friends over the years, and like you said, we gossip. Not you gossip, but you talked about this one, that one, whatever. And now when I run into them, I feel like I have no time for that. I don't even want to talk about that. Like I don't want to talk about her. I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to do that. I feel like yucky, like if that's a word, like you almost don't. It's like you don't want to subscribe to that. Once you realize, like now, how you're feeling, you completely, you change your group, you change your tribe. You start to connect with different people that aren't doing that, and it doesn't serve you. It's like, hey, listen, I have like, yeah, I don't know how many more days left on this earth, and I don't want to spend them that way. I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that anymore. Like we say all the time, 1,440 minutes in a day to make decisions of how you want to be perceived and how you want your life to go. So, you're the only one who could put we say this too. I am, like, you are the only one who could put words after that. So, however you want to be is what you need. That's why affirmations are so key. I love that. But you're the only one who can change it. You're the only one who can change your mind. And like you said, and I love that, you're trying to make people aware of what they're thinking. That's the whole thing, is becoming aware. It's becoming awake. It's like an awakening, of, oh my gosh, I just judged that person. I just criticized that person. And once you become like aware of it, you're like, oh my God, it's you want to change, you want to be better,
I,
and things start happening and things change. It's
our,
awesome.
our,
I
our,
love that.
our thoughts are amazing indicators of what our vibration is, our energy is in that moment. They're just a reflection. So if we can pay attention to the thoughts, or if you don't catch the thoughts, then it'll turn into words. So maybe you'll catch the words. Be like, oh, I said that. That wasn't very nice what I just said to that person. Like, that didn't feel so good. So now you say, okay,
Right.
must be how I'm thinking. So this must be how I'm vibrating in these moments. And now you have the choice to change. If someone's wants to hang out with me in life now, I mean, this is how important it is. Because then the question for everybody out there is, how much does this matter to you? And I think that it will matter to you more when you realize that every area of your life is a reflection of your consistent state of being. Like, how are you showing up in the world? Your health, your relationships, your finances, they're all reflections of your state of being in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. And what you see right now is just the accumulation of all the energy that you put into life up until now in all these different areas. And so what's going to show up from here is the energy that you put in now and now and now. So great news for all of us is whatever we're going to manifest from here, it starts right now, and it's a perpetual moment of now. So for me, that matters so much to me as far as what my right now energy is. If I'm going to be spending time with anyone, whether it be a business relationship or an intimate relationship or whatever, like, if
Yeah.
I'm going to spend time with you, your option is to come play with me here, where we're going to be at peace. We're going to be enjoying life. We're going to be talking about
I
what we
love
want to
that.
see in the world. Like, we're not because if I'm going to be frustrated and anxious and worried, and I'm human, if I'm going to see something and be like, I can do that by myself. I don't need to participate in big groups to be able to feel crappy. I can feel crappy anytime, anywhere. Any of us
All
can.
by yourself.
Yeah. So if we're going to actually be together, like for me, we're going to enjoy life. Like, I'm going to enjoy connecting with sometimes human beings that, I mean, think about how many times in life we are face to face connecting with a human being that 5 seconds ago we didn't even know existed on Earth. Like, Lisa, we've never had a conversation like this before. And so we're
No.
creating something together right now that has never been in existence ever in human history. And we're doing that all day, every day, like in this world. It's so much fun sharing a planet with 7.7 billion other humans. Just be open to
I
it.
love that.
Yeah.
No, that's so true. That is true. You're right. I always say this all the time. I mean, I'm single, so I saw on my dating profile, I wrote, um, we need to be deep. Like, if you want to be deep, if you want to have deep conversations, then that's cool. But I'm not talking about surface stuff at this point. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about, I want to talk about what drives you, what moves you. You know what I mean? So that's like what you were saying. Like if you're going to connect with me anyway, that's how you're connecting with me. Otherwise, I have no patience. Like you said, you could be miserable all by yourself. Trust me, I've been there, done that. So that's so cool that you said that. I love that. I love all the people hopping on. I love it. So yeah, it's just
Oh, you can see people. How do you see people? Were you looking at Facebook?
I can see them on the side here. Yeah, on the
Oh,
side,
okay.
so it shows comments. Yeah,
Nice.
a little bit. But
Oh, I see.
But I know you. Yeah. So that. Oh my God, this interview was amazing. Like I could talk to you all day. I know you have like a million things to do. It's so fun. But I would love to chat with you. You are super cool, and I love what you're doing. So all right. So let's tell everybody where they can follow you at, and where your podcasts are, and all that, and your Facebook page, and that's why they can like follow you and see all your great stuff.
Yeah, so my main focus in life right now, for everybody, like as long as I'm breathing, it will be, because the way I see humanity is two things are required to have, and I say required loosely because all of us are gonna expand regardless. Like every life experience that we have is going to grow us, and our option is: are we gonna grow joyfully, like happily, or are we gonna grow painfully? But it's gonna happen one or the other. So if we're like purposely open to growth, like we've been talking about here, then it's going to happen forever, and it could be a very enjoyable life experience. So helping people have more conscious awareness. And then the second thing, which is the reason why my handle, you guys can find me on all the social medias at the Angel of Abundance, which was a nickname that was given to me by a spiritual teacher in New York because of what I'm doing with humanity right now. It's the combination of the consciousness, which is new awareness, new learning from anywhere, anytime, anyone. So I'm bringing that all together, and then there's so many people out there that are doing that element, and then I'm taking it a step further and helping people that's important to where that matters to them, and they choose to just help other people discover it. Then I'm helping them bring in unlimited abundance, which abundance doesn't just mean money. It means having more than enough of everything that matters: time, money, health, relationships, anything that matters to you. If you have more than enough of that and you're in a constant state of growing and evolving on purpose, then you just ask yourself every day when you wake up, what sounds most fun today? What sounds most fulfilling? And you go do that because you're not lacking in anything. You know who you truly are. You know that you're constantly growing, and you have the resources to go out there and actually create what you want to see in the world. And so that's called Universal Abundance Community. That's what I'm doing. Like that's my lifelong mission, and it's spreading around the world right now. And the Angel of Abundance, you guys can connect with me on all the podcasts and everything else that I'm doing. It's all a part of it.
Yeah, you guys have to follow him. You have to follow him. He has the greatest content. Love it. And he's always on Facebook. He's always, friend him on Facebook and follow his stuff. He's awesome. You are so awesome. You were like the best guest ever.
Oh,
and
you're
I'm
awesome.
glad I got to interview you because I always see you interviewing other people and like sitting back and like letting them talk. So I love that you were able to share your story and your message. And I love the Angel of Abundance. I just think that is the coolest thing. That was a great nickname, by the way. Whoever gave that to you, that was perfect.
Well, here's how she said it too. She said, "Noelle, my spirit guides, like my angels, want me to pass a message on to you." So I was like, "I'm all ears. Like I want to hear what you have to say." And she said that you're going to be known around the world as the Angel of Abundance for what you're doing. I was like, let me see if that's available on Instagram because that sounds awesome, and it obviously was. So it's just it's fun. I just root for everybody out there, and I want to see everybody like with what you're doing, Lisa, just by inviting me to have this conversation. Like if one person got one thing from one thing that we said, then it was worth it. And I knew it was gonna be a fun conversation to have anyway. And if you ever want to share your story on my podcast, on my platform, I'll happily have a conversation with you. Turn the tables.
Definitely. It was so great to have you on. Is there anything else you want to say? Is there any like closing things you want to say, or
just everybody out there, just root for each other. Just be open to becoming aware of new consciousness from anyone at any time, any moment. And if it's something where it's like, yeah, that feels good, you want to explore it. Maybe it might not be like the end all be all of like the direction you're going forever. But with every new life experience is going to come new understanding, new clarity, things that you like, things that maybe you don't like so much. So anytime you're curious to go explore anything, whether it be following someone on social media or going to work with them or doing whatever it is, that's just a great next step on our life journey. And you never know what that can lead to synchronistically, because really, in truth, we can't figure out any of this stuff. Like, get off of the how's it going to happen, when's it going to happen, who's it going to be, if you want a relationship or any of this stuff. Get back to focusing on, as of this moment, I'm as clear as I've ever been as far as what I like and don't like in life, what I want to see in my life and for humanity. and get your energy being that person right now, not I'll be happy when, which was one of my greatest weaknesses of life. Like if we can be happy now without needing all the stuff, then all the stuff will come. So.
Yeah, I love that. You guys, that was perfect. Whoever's watching this video, he's like, you are so in tune. You are so exactly like in the same exact. I love that. That was perfect. Well, it was so nice having you on and spending a little time with you on this Monday. I'm so glad you were able to do this with me. And I hope you have an awesome day.
Thank you.
And everybody go follow him because I'm sure he's going to be doing some interviews today as well. This guy's booking.
I do have one in like an hour.
So you got to go have coffee or do something right now. But anyway, I'm so glad to have done this with you, and I definitely want to be on yours as well. So invite me. We could. I'd love to be interviewed by you. I would love it.
Let's do it.
So
let's do it.
Yeah, let's definitely do it.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you.
Everybody, thanks for everybody for hopping on, and I'm gonna let him go and do his thing because he's a busy boy. And thanks everybody. I hope you guys all got something awesome out of this. I'm sure you did because it was a great conversation. Always. So thank you, Noelle, for being on. Thank you for sharing everything with me. And hopefully maybe we could do this again soon. We'll do it again.
Anytime.
We got to keep
this is
sharing.
Fun. We're always evolving, so there'll be new things to share all the time that
Absolutely.
we speak.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll have more to talk about. All right. Well, have a great day, and thank you. Talk soon.
See you guys.